Up, everybody? Clint Esposito here. Jeez, with the Clint Esposito show. I got a
Bombed on the
little.
takeoff just like Harry.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It was just like I'd been idling for too long, and then I went to take off, and there was just it had built up. Is what happened. A
Damn
little
carbies.
burble. We call that a burble.
Little burble. That's it. Damn
That's
Carby. She's playing up again.
Yeah, I'm an old two-stroke. You know what I mean? You gotta clear it out before you just go hit the ramp.
That's it.
I just tried to do another podcast, so I have this Wirecast stuff, and I had another whole setup for a different show, and that one will not stream for anything. I don't know what's going on. So
Really?
yeah, and this one just works. So you got me, dude.
Sweet. Hell yeah. That's what I like to hear. Then
Yeah.
we'll get this job done. This will be better than my podcast I just did, where I spoke for the last 20 minutes to myself, apparently, because I had my audio turned off. So I got to do the new Writers Lounge podcast again. Or what would be even better is I'm just going to grab your audio from this and maybe cut little bits out, and I'm going to fucking save some time. Maybe I'll do that. Is that all right?
I don't care.
Oh,
That gets
sweet.
me more ears.
Yeah, like I just did. Yeah, it was 20 minutes, and I'm like, sweet. At 5 o'clock, I've got to catch up with Clint Esposito over there for Two Wheels of Freedom. Make sure you tune in. Blah blah blah. Wrapped it all up. Just went to check it like for the first 5 seconds and realized, oh, no audio. I've already done 3 podcasts today. I don't really feel like doing this again. So, right, some of this will be on mine.
The thing is, though, you get, I've done that before, and then when you go back in, a lot of times you've worked some stuff out through the first one.
Yeah.
And then you're kind of like a little bit better because you kind of are like.
I can whittle that 20 minutes down to about 3 now, I reckon.
Perfect. So yeah, we're gonna talk about Munich, which spell Munich.
Exactly. It is. No, actually, it's not. It's spelled Munchen.
Munich,
And-
yeah.
It's-
I kept
it's
looking,
spelled-
going, what the hell? Every time I'd go to write it, I would have to literally look something up and be like, okay.
M-U with an umlaut with the 2 dots over the U, N-C-H-E-N, München is the real way.
Oh, yeah.
Now, this is a stupid thing of like, I always wondered why in the English language we decided to leave some place names as it's made or as they say it in their local language, and some places we don't.
Because we accept it unless you put those stupid things over the letter, bro. Okay? That's where we draw the line.
With no stupid letters, we change it. But then there's like, I think the Italians call Munich Monaco. Yet there's a Monaco in France. So, yeah, I don't know. Like, it's strange. Because I remember talking to Leo Feeney about Monaco. Oh, yeah, we're going to Monaco. We're going to Monaco. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. You got a fucking show in Monaco. That's going to be good money. And then I realized he was talking about Munich. And I'm like, well, that's not good money. Sorry, bro. But, yeah, I always wondered, like, why did we change some place names? Completely change them. It's just stupid. But anyway,
it is stupid.
That's my rant for the day.
There you go. I don't know. Language frustrates me anyway, but that's a different podcast, okay?
That's it.
We're going to get back to the dirt bikes. I actually got your guys' highlight reel pulled up to play in our background. I mean, I got the sound off, but at least.
Oh, you got the little 1 minute.
Yeah, exactly.
The quick one. So I just voiced the 5-minute highlights, so that will probably come out tomorrow.
We can't use that for this then, Steve.
Of course not, but there's something to look forward to. A little bit extra.
Yeah.
All the good stuff that didn't go into that one.
Nice. We're seeing front flips, whatever the hell that bicycle guy just did, into a bounce front flip.
Cash roll to bounce fronty, I think it was.
Dude, the whole now Bink is strapped to his bike. So do you remember it was Red Bull X Fighters, but do you remember who was it got stuck on their bike? Norwegian guy.
Andre Villa.
Yes. Exactly like that. But
Yep. And that ended in one of the worst crashes with like a broken femur, I think Andre Villa had.
yeah.
That fucked him up big time.
I was there for that.
Well, yeah.
That was in Poland, I believe. Poznan, Poland.
Yep. Poznan, yep, exactly.
I was
Poznan,
mechanicking
Poland.
for Javier.
Damn.
I got yelled at in Polish.
Are you all right on the tools or not?
Yeah. That's what I do.
Okay.
Some days during the week here, I go to a shop and I work on stuff.
Nice.
I used to, when Javier was on the East Coast, I used to do stuff on his bike all the time when he was around because I'm like, what the hell is going on with this?
So, yeah, I think Javier's mechanicking skills are about as good as mine. So
yeah, he'd be like, dude, how do I do this? And I'm like,
just so what? Hang on, what did you get yelled for at X Fighters?
Just trying to get onto the floor all the time. Like I don't know, they did not recognize my credential for whatever reason, and I'm like trying to go onto the floor to watch him practice. And I'm not even going onto the course, and just every time I go down the tunnel to get to the floor, they're like yelling at me, and I'm like, so I finally found some lady, the Red Bull lady, and I was like, hey, please tell this lady I can come down here and watch practice.
Just go find Angela and you'll be fine, mate. She would have taken care of it all.
So then during the show, he was still on a 2-stroke. And the temperature dropped or something, or it got more humid at night, and he went out for his run, and first hit, he's all, and just, like, decks the shit out of it. Luckily, he had a bye run, whoever he was against. Oh, he was against Andre. Villa was out first round. Javier got a free run. We found out that the bike bogged like a motherfucker. And then I went back and messed with it in the pits. So then I had to test it. There was 0 space. Yeah. So I had to go out into the parking lot. So that got me yelled at by big-ass security guards out there in the parking lot trying to test the bike out. I was just all down the parking lot, and they're like yelling at me. And I turned around, just go by them again, and just went right into the pits.
They probably thought you stole it. That's why. They're like, welcome to Poland. Your bike's already here.
Probably. But there was no way I could tell them what was going on. So I was just like, later.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Yeah, no, that was a horrible crash from Andre Villa. And yeah, I mean, to start things off, that was the crash basically that Bink was about to have.
Like yeah, exactly. Dude, I watched the whole thing and I was like, because we were actually sitting in bleachers during practice when he did that. So I sat there and watched the whole thing. I obviously just on the live stream, but I watched Harry do that and I'm like, oh my, it looks exactly same thing. Foot hooked up, stuck upside down, you know? Then Harry goes, budging about 20 feet off the deck, dude. And just gets up and walks away. And I'm like,
that was so insane. From where I was sitting, I was like directly in the middle on the opposite side. So he was jumping the furthest jump. I thought he was like bouncing off the front of the bag.
Oh, and going back to flat.
Back of the bag and going back to the flat ground on the concrete. That's what I thought was about to happen. He only just got over onto the safety deck.
Yeah.
Safety deck. I mean, it still worked, luckily. But yeah, he got fucking ejected out of that thing. So he told me later. So he said the bike bogged on him. It was like an electrical fault.
Yeah.
As he was going for a one-handed knack backflip. So he's got his foot hooked. He's got his left foot hooked in. His right foot came off, where you can see like that right foot was just hanging under him because he was already going for a knack anyway. And he actually told me, I don't know why, but he told me in training that when he does one-hand knack flips, he barely even pulls. So for some reason, it just rotates quite quick on him.
Yeah.
So I think that's why you notice, like, you know, he was not even 90 degrees like that. He wasn't even barely doing a Larry loop out. And the bike there was no pull, there was no speed, and that's where yeah, he was fucked. And
I wonder if his leg like speeds him up or something.
it must do. It must be that. Like, if he drops his foot, maybe it like speeds that rotation up.
Yeah, maybe the
Yeah,
force of the way he's sending his leg, and it kind of
yeah,
like brings him around, or he squats a teeny bit when he does it, or
yeah. Like keep the rotation in tight or something
yeah,
like that.
exactly.
Yeah. So then, but then what you could see was he was just locked in, and the bike's coming in towards the landing, and he was still locked. And I thought, oh, this is gonna
Yeah,
get bad. And at the last second, he somehow got
yeah,
unstuck from it, and then that fucking huge bounce that he did off the top. And then again, like he was more worried about landing on the bike. He told me
yeah. I
he
bet.
like as he was flying through the air, he like looked down to spot where the bike was and hope because he was backwards, like he was
Right,
falling backwards. He was just hoping he didn't land on like a foot peg or
right.
something like that, get a hand stuck in the wheel or
It's hard
so
to
he was
even
like,
grasp where you are in that type
yeah,
of deal, you know?
yeah, yeah. And actually he told me like when we went out for a beer the next day in the Hofbrauhaus in Munich, went for some beers and he was talking about it. And he said like he knew straight away he was kind of in trouble, but he thought he might be able to get the rotation around to spot the landing. And
Hmm.
then he realized like he was still looking in the same direction the whole time. He's like, oh,
Ah,
okay, there's no rotation happening. Then he decided to work out what to do midair, but it was quite cool. Like he knew what was going on, even though like he was waiting for a backflip that just never came.
yeah.
So yeah, it's pretty interesting to hear that.
That's the ability of like high performers. They're like people that are good under pressure or action sports people is they're usually pretty calm in those scenarios where you're
Yeah,
basically work it out to where it's the least amount of damage.
damage.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Hey, actually, do you want to see something cool?
sure.
Have you got the slow mo playing, or have you got like that background video playing?
Well, right now I have the video in the background. Somebody's, I don't know who's doing a run. Oh, I think
If
it's
you can,
Philip.
if you can put something on, like just give me 30 seconds. I'll run out to the van and I'll find his Tech 10 for you and I'll show you what he
Okay.
did. So while I'm away, just show something and maybe you can talk about that and I'll be back in about 30 seconds because
All right.
this is really cool.
All right. There you go. Something really cool, guys. So right now we're watching, I think that's Philip Podmall from the Night of the Jumps that we're talking about with a huge, I'm going to give it a KOD indie flip. Oh, I thought that was somebody's talking to us. That's just the live stream chat. So if you missed it, you can watch it on YouTube. We're all in there. I was in the chat room. We're all BSing during this. Oh, we basically missed his run here. We got one trick out of it to hold us over.
Okay,
His
Tech
bike
10s.
was.
Let me put my earphones in so I can hear what you're saying.
There we go. He's
I'm
back.
just trying to open these Tech 10s up. I haven't worn them in 10 years. All right, so here we go. We've got Binky's Tech 10. I don't know if you can see this. Can you
Yeah.
see where he has torn
Yes.
the top of the Tech 10 where he was locked
Go
in?
that way a teeny bit.
Oh,
No, the
this
other
way.
way. There you go. Yeah.
This way?
Yep. Perfect.
Yeah.
Wow.
Cover my face. So you can see that. So that was locked into his left foot hook. He ripped his foot out so hard he tore the top of the Tech 10. So hard he tore past the top of the boot. This is the inner booty.
Wow.
He ripped the fuck out of the inner booty. So I don't know how he didn't even tear the top of his toe off.
How
That's
sharp?
how hard he pulled.
How sharp is that foot hook?
Sharp enough to go through 2 layers of a Tech 10. That is incredible.
Yeah.
That's what blew me away. And I was like, yeah, well, you know what? hang shit on these guys who go to the gym all the time. Like, you don't need that many leg muscles, but turns out those leg
Sometimes.
muscles might have just saved his femur,
Yeah.
like, from an Andre Villa style crash. Even on an airbag, it wouldn't have been pretty being locked into your bike, no
Especially
matter
the way
what.
he
Like,
got whipped after. Think about if he was still hung up at that point.
exactly. That would have been ugly as. So that's what happened. What a way to start the podcast.
Yeah.
So there we were, Munich, night of the jumps.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad he's he was basically fine.
Yeah, fine enough to head to the Hofbrauhaus the next day. I took him on a Sommerfeld tour guide, which would be my other job normally. The problem was
Really?
I think oh hell yeah, trail rides. I'd be doing trail ride tours, So I was like giving him the historical tour of Munich, but he missed breakfast. So he's like, "Oh, I'm actually pretty hungry." I'm like, "All right, what?" Showed him a few things about the crazy Prince Ludwig II and told him some stories. And I'm like, "Oh, okay, I'll just take you to the Hofbrauhaus. We'll go grab a schnitty, go get a chicken schnitzel or something, or a Wiener Schnitzel, and one beer." Well, I mean, we didn't get too much further.
Flat?
What's that?
Wiener Schnitzel, isn't it flat?
Yeah, flat as. Yeah.
I don't get it.
It's the way they do it in Vienna.
I know, but it doesn't make me think of wieners.
No, because it's not a wiener. So the wiener you're talking about is spelt the same way, but it's absolutely completely different, because Vienna is actually, again, coming back to why do we change the name of places? Vienna is actually Wien, pronounced Wien. So then they have the Wiener Schnitzel, but it's actually Wiener, which we would say is Wiener Schnitzel. Fucking English language. There you go. Hey, I told you, if I was not riding a motorbike, I'd be a tour guide and I'd just go explain all these stupid little bits of trivia for you.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, so you guys had Wiener Schnitzel, which was not round, so it wasn't, weird eating it with Harry.
Piece of meat that's been battered so it's thin as and covered in breadcrumbs. So yeah, no, it was awesome. It was really good. I had a couple of days extra with Harry, and then
what happened with the flight?
Oh fuck yeah, that's been fun. Harry was fine because he's actually here for another week extra to have a bit of a holiday.
But everybody else, what'd you have to do? Smuggle them out of the country and then fly them from somewhere else?
Yep, exactly. So Jose jumped in the van with Brice Izzo and Brice's brother Romain Izzo, who was actually even crazier than him. They were driving back to Marseille. Brice had a show 12 hours later in the bottom of France, and it would take them about 12 hours to get there. They took Jose and smuggled him out in their van, dropped him off at the Zurich airport in Switzerland so Jose could fly back to Barcelona. And Malero jumped in with Abraham Parra, who was driving 2,400 kilometers to the bottom of Spain. Same thing. They dropped him off at the Zurich airport so he could fly home to Madrid. And our big airbag
so far out of the way, Madrid.
Yeah.
Fly? Okay.
Well, Malero just didn't want to sit in a van for 2 days.
Right.
So he just,
I got it.
So fuck it, drop me off. I'm catching a flight home.
Yeah.
And the guy from Big Airbag, he flew in from Amsterdam, which is normally like a 1-hour flight. We couldn't get him out any other way than putting him on a train. Actually, I bought him another flight, then that got cancelled. So I'm like, shit, what are we going to do? Found a train that left at 3 a.m. So we finished the show. We rolled up the bags straight away, and we got that done pretty quickly. I had a few other things to do. We went back to the hotel. He grabbed his stuff. We went to the after party for about 20 seconds and realized it was so full we couldn't even get in to get him a drink. So then we walked back out. I dropped him at the train station at 3 a.m. It was supposed to be an 8-hour train, which he thought was somehow good in first class. And then after about 3 hours, that train was cancelled, and then there were strikes on the trains, there were strikes on the buses, and he managed to get like the small regional trains all the way back to Amsterdam. And it took him, I don't know, 15 hours or something to get him home. So that was just those three. Then there was a whole lot of our crew that had flights cancelled and everything like that. And so it's the trains, buses, flights, protest that's going on in Germany right now.
So it's just
been
all
a shit
of
show.
all of the
Everything. It started on flights and then it moved on to everything. And so it's just an absolute shit show the last few days over here. Yeah. But anyway. That was the fun part of my job. Doing rebooking and trying to figure that out while trying to run the event and commentate and like sound like I'm under control when I was just there was problems every which way I looked. So when I was doing the commentary, I was like,
this is the easiest
let's just
part
calm
of the
fuck down. Oh mate, mate, running the live stream's like the easiest thing ever. You just stand there and speak shit. No problems at all. Like that's what we're good at.
Yeah.
But
especially about dirt bikes.
Okay.
So the riding was good when everybody's bikes cooperated, which was basically the rest of the...
Everybody else's bike was pretty good. Turns out Abraham Parra, he had a crash the week before and nobody knew. And in training, he went for a tsunami or a ruler and he thought he broke his ribs. And then when the medic checked him out, there was this bulge starting to come out from under his rib cage with fluid or something like that. And they're like, oh, no, you're off to the hospital, bud. He had an x-ray and they're like, nah, it looks like maybe he tore the intercostals or maybe a ligament or something. And he's like, oh, no, it's sweet. I'll ride the show. All right. So we had another kid there, Pepper Aaron, who he rode in the training just in case Abraham couldn't make it. We would have someone to fill his place. And he was killing it. He was looking really good in training, but Abraham's like, nah, fucking got this. I've driven 2,500 kilometers to be here. I'm going to ride. And it was a pretty good run, really clean upright tricks, but I guess he just didn't feel comfy enough to go for any flip tricks. So yeah, it was, he did everything he could, which was good to see. Who else had a little problem? Oh, Lukey Luke. Luke Ackerman went for a fronting in training, under-rotated, and as his back wheel touched down, the front wants to whiplash down, like it wants to land fast, and it just ripped his shoulder, and he actually ended up doing like a bit of a subluxation of the shoulder joint. So it like popped out, popped back in real fast. So he was feeling pretty shit at the end of all of that. And actually it was Leon Binkerbank, who's the BMX rider from Berlin. He strapped him up, gave him a massage, because that's his real job, I think, outside of jumping a BMX. Yeah, so luckily Leon was there and got Luke roughly in a good enough position that he could ride again. But he wasn't 100%.
And then his hands were tired when he rode.
Yeah, pretty much. Exactly. So
and I realize it's different and there's not all that technology, but the bag that I rode was good if you came in like nose high. Like it kind of ate it up a little bit more so than I feel like if you were on like a hard landing, you'd be like all over the bars.
Yeah, so what we do with the airbag landings is we want this to be as close to dirt as possible with a little bit of, a little bit extra safety if you need it. So we've got the top pretty much as hard as it can be, and then the middle section's a bit softer. Like that's your actual suspension part is in the middle chamber.
Yeah.
So yeah, if it was like a regular like training setup where you want everything pretty soft and feeling like that, he probably would have been all right. But because we had it set up as a competition setup, that's why it's better than dirt, but it's still
it's better for worst case scenario. And maybe to dirt or something, he would have been pitched and hurt worse.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly right.
Yeah, so the teams again were the world team,
Yeah, that's it.
Spain, and
And Czechy
Czech.
Czechs, the Czech Republic. Czechia, as it is now known in the English language. It
Oh,
used to
it
be
is it?
Czech Republic, and now it is Czechia.
That's the
CZ.
language.
No, that's the name of their country now. They've changed their name. So now it's CZECHIA. That is how we should be calling their country
And
from
if
now on. I
we
think
dead name them, then we're in a world of shit.
exactly. So it's basically if you say Czech Republic, you've dead named them.
Oh.
They're Czechia. Yep. And actually, so now if we want to take another step, the country formerly known as Turkey is now Turkey. Yeah.
I know. I saw they did add some shit above their letters or something as well.
Yeah, they added the umlauts over the U and put an E on the end. And I think IYE. So it's TU with the umlaut, RKIYE is Turkey, yeah. Mate, you got to be fucking up on these things. I told you I'm going to be the best damn travel agent going around. Not
Well,
agent, sorry, travel tour guide. I'm a
listen,
tour guide.
I'm from America and we just only worry about American shit.
Okay? Exactly.
Unless
we don't fuck around with this dead name and shit. We just say what it is.
Unless we're gonna overthrow your government, we don't care about you as a country either. Okay.
That's it. Not interested at all. No.
That's right. We don't want any of your shit.
No. So this time around, unfortunately, Kai Haase, he's out for a while after. So he was in Team Germany in Berlin, and then in Masters of Dirt, he went for something I think that had never ever been done before. If I understand correctly, he was, you know how they sit on top of the scissor lift
Yeah.
and they just take off like 3 meter run up and then do the drop, like backflip drop.
Yeah.
He was going for a scissor lift front flip drop. So what he does normally is the big jump over.
Yeah.
And then he lands on the front wheel into a
Right.
front flip. This time he jumped up onto, stopped, then sat there for a bit and just tried to drop off into a front flip. Didn't work.
Is there a cheater? No cheater?
Nope. Just exactly from flat to trying to do
it would
a
have
full
to be
front.
really high.
I think it was high. I think it was really high to get that done, to give the extra rotation, because a backflip, you've got the gas of the tire on the mesh,
front
and you're only doing 270 degrees from flat around is only 270 to get somewhere within landing. Whereas to do a front, you're going from flat with no gas, it's just front brakes and then pushing. You have to then do a full 360, and actually would be better for like 400 degrees of like, so he's almost doubled the amount of rotation needed. Didn't work out.
In a less natural.
Broke his. Exactly.
What did he break?
C3 in his neck. Yeah.
But no, like he's all good.
He's all good.
Okay.
I think. I hope. Like from what I heard, he's like everything's kind of all good and
working.
Yeah, he's put some messages up. So if you're listening to this, jump on to Kai Haase's Instagram and send him a message. Get well soon, because fuck that. That would be super scary.
Did he like drag the back brake or something? That's the only way I would think you would. You know what I mean? Like drag your back brake off at the end, and then maybe at least it would kind of drop you quicker.
That actually would make sense. Right. In my mind, I have no idea how he did it. I guess it was his front brake. But now that you say drag in the back brake, so you actually let your front wheel go off, drag your back brake.
Right, kind of pulls you. I don't want to do it, so let's.
No. It's good to theory. It's good to theory craft. So unfortunately, Kai was not with us. I think he would have done an MOD anyway. So it was Luke, Brees Izzo, and Harry Bink for the world team. And Harry, I actually only contacted him about a week and a half before the event
Oh,
because
really?
someone pulled out. And I just thought for a laugh, like, I'll just text Harry, see what he says. And he fucking came back to me straight away. He's like, hell yeah, I want to come. And I got something dumb that I want to try. So within a week and a half, we worked out his logistics, how to get the bike from the bottom of Spain up to Germany, all that sort of stuff. And yeah, so it was on for young and old, which was sick. For Team Spain was Abraham Parra, who did the big drive, Michael Malero, and Mark Pignol, who crashed in Berlin on the Cali roll. He was coming for redemption. And for the Czech team was Matej Čezak, who blew his KTM 300 up in Berlin. He was looking to not do that again. Philip Podmol, who crashed the double flip. Yeah, switched to a 250 this time, which was a bit smarter. Philip Podmol, who crashed the double in Berlin. And he brought his brother, Libor Podmol. And Libor fucking rode sick.
Both of them look good.
Both of them clean as. And I loved Libor's underflip. That, like, was just like old days. Just, I don't know, there's something about his underflip that was, I don't know, I just love it. That's like his signature trick for me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the old man. And the last time Libor rode at Night of the Jumps was in Munich 2019 when he missed a vault, pin dropped and broke both legs. They just exploded on him. So he came back, rode sweet, awesome underflip. It was just kind of like Libor of old.
Yeah, he looked good right from first run.
Yep. First jump looked fucking sweet, and yeah, there was really no problems there. And Philip rode awesome. He didn't go for the double flip. So I was kind of waiting. I didn't know if he would do it or not, but he decided against it.
Both of them looked way more calm and smooth than I've seen them in the past.
Yeah, exactly. Both of them are like a little bit scrappy, bit erratic, like trying to get as many tricks in as possible.
Yeah.
But this time, both of them were just super smooth. And
I wonder if it's them being together. Like, I wonder if, because maybe at home, you know, I'm sure who they grow up riding with.
Yeah, that's it. Like, you maybe just calmer. Like, you know, oh, it's sweet.
They got somebody to bounce shit off of.
Yeah, exactly. What do you feel about the course or whatever it is? Yeah. No, they both looked awesome. And actually, Philip in the best trick it wasn't really a best trick. I probably would have used that one in his run because he's got.
Did he do the heart seat grab heart attack flip?
No, in his best trick, he did the heel clicker to Indy.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, to get that many tricks in, like clicker over the front, swing back for the first Indy, which is already difficult. Most guys are, you know, and then to swing another, I was like, not bad. For me, I'd never seen anybody else do that before, but somebody said it has been done, and John Matthews is probably the only man who will know who it was. So if he's watching the live stream now, I hope he can. Now. Oh, damn.
No answer,
nobody. I have no idea who did it before, but apparently it might have been done.
Who would, like, Bilko or something?
I was about to say, has Bilko ever done a heel clicker flip? But yeah, he does 360 heel clickers.
And he seems like the type of person that would do something like that.
To swing something. Yeah, exactly. It's that kind of rider. Like, yeah, I don't know. I can't think of who
Off
may
topic,
have done it.
But Bilko is severely underrated.
Hell yeah.
Severely.
Yeah. I think he wadded himself probably at the most crucial points of his career. I mean, he won an X Games gold medal, but
How'd he get hurt? How'd he get hurt?
Blew his knee out at Jew Tour. on a KOD flip. Well, that was one of them. That was his big knee fuck up.
He won X Games, FMX.
Oh yes, I
once,
remember. Yep.
And then goes to flip his bike or something and blows his knee out.
Yep. Exactly. Yep. That's the one.
And it's like right then.
Yeah,
like
but that's Bilko.
Like I know. Right then you're like, he's set to just destroy for the next year or two.
Yeah.
And then boom, blows his knee out. You don't see him for, you know what I mean, how long?
6 months, whatever. Yeah, exactly. Like every time things were in the right place, he'd just blow a knee out. Like fuck, he's probably done it about 21 times. Like it's that bad. Man, I saw him getting around actually at the Wales World Supercross and
with the crutches. I've seen pictures of him.
He fucking basically needs it now, and that was on a good day. So yeah, those knees they're toast. But how did we get onto that? Anyway, whatever. So who was the other team that I was talking about? Oh, Spain. Yeah. So I spoke about Abraham Parra, but also Marc Pignol. So he wanted some redemption from his crash in Berlin, and with his California roll, that's what he crashed in Berlin.
Yeah.
Stomped it clean as a whistle, and he threw in a front flip as well for good measure. So actually I thought his whole run looked way better than Berlin.
Everybody looked really good this time. Like,
yeah.
I'm sure it was not that long ago, so I'm sure they just learned, calmed down a little bit about the scenario, whatever the event. And, you know, that's with anything, right? The more chances you give these guys, you know, they should
get
top level guys
and feel more confident. Yeah.
Top level guys are going to learn each time and progress.
That's it. And the cool thing was, like, Pignol didn't just come back. He could have done two things. He could have, like, spent the next month, like, making sure that Cali roll was sweet and just focus on that. Or he could have said, fuck, maybe I'm not great with it. Maybe I'll go learn something else and do the front flip instead. Well, I thought it was sick. He did both. Came with something new again on a trick. I think the last time he did that was 2017 when he crashed.
Wow.
So 6 years for redemption on that trick, and then the Cali roll, and he stomped both of them, and he looked good. He looked comfortable, and yeah, it was good to see him on top.
Maybe him crashing on the airbag and being like, okay, kind of.
Let's go.
A little bit of exactly. Oh, I can be just pretty. I don't have to be perfect. I just need to be close.
Close. Close is better than. And then Malero, man, Malero looked good. So we brought to this event Malero's front flip ramp that he actually built, and one that was built after. Oh, I've got your back. And it was like millimeters difference can change the kick that the rocker.
Yeah, of course.
So Yeah, I remember I was talking to Sheeny about it, and he was talking about when Travis was building front flip ramps there, and they found, I think we might have spoken about this on another podcast as well, but even a change in wall thickness on the steel will affect. What do you go? Oh, is it?
Yeah,
I
hello.
pretty much.
Yep.
I did the same.
I guess because I did a couple shows already.
Yeah, fair enough. So you're running on battery power there.
Well, these are plugged in. I didn't have this thing on, so now it's on.
Okay, sweet.
Um,
Yeah. So I mean that was where we got to with all the teams with the individual runs, and actually Malero was super smooth, really good tricks in his run. He got 79 out of 100, which is a pretty low score. So actually I'm quite happy this year to see the judges keeping the scores lower. So there's a lot more room to move and actually use the 100, not from 90 points to 100, which is just pointless.
Right.
So yeah, Malero got 79. Luke with his bunged up shoulder and strapped up, he did like a no hand flip in his run, which I don't think Luke's probably ever done, or probably not for the last 10 years. Like that'd just be barely a warm up trick for Luke.
Yeah.
So you could tell he was hurt and that he only could negotiate a no hand flip at one point, but he still landed 360, fronty, double flip, and everything. And he just beat Malero by 1 point, which I would agree with, but fuck, it was tight between those two guys. So, yeah, so Lukey Luke, he's sitting with 3 straight wins in the individual contest for the series. Malero's in second place. And because Ronaldo wasn't there, he was off doing an MOD show down in Innsbruck. Philip Podmole, after 3 rounds, is sitting in third position. So
Awesome.
I guess we'll see Ronaldo back in Mannheim to try and get back onto that podium and keep battling. Because he would have been, if he came and placed second again, like he'd still be sitting in second position. But now the guys of like Malero and Luke they're going to start disappearing in the out the front. It's going to be hard for anyone to catch up.
For sure.
So could be like what we saw in 2019 and 2018 when it was just Luke and Malero just fighting. So Malero won the first time for his 5th world championship in a row. And then on the 6th year, fucking little Luke, he got the job done and reeled him in and took the win over the season at the last event. So yeah, it's all happening right now.
So what happens with, because everybody's not at every event. So are there like evening outs where like Luke won't be there? Or is Luke basically at all the events?
He'll probably be at all the events. And normally what we do is we have one throwaway round. But let's see what happens if, it's tough when there's a throwaway because it's not like you can choose what to throw away. But, let's say David comes back and he only gets like, I don't know, maybe fucks up and he gets a 5th or a 6th. So he'll obviously throw away the one where he just missed it. But having a 5th or a 6th in there is going to be pretty crap as well. And I think that's actually what happened to David in 2019. He was killing it. He missed one round because I think he had a show somewhere else, so he just couldn't make it. And he was relying on the throwaway to possibly be at the top to win it. And I think he might have had a crash that year at one round, so I don't even think he made the top 6. And that was enough that sort of dropped him out. So yeah, it's tough. You put that throwaway in the middle, anything can happen.
Well, that's good. That's the evener.
So anyway, yeah, that's the evener, but it's a bit of a joker as well. But yeah, no. So we had the regular runs. Best whip, Matej Cezak again killed it. Pignol was looking pretty good, but actually Harry Bink, he got into the final with some pretty good turndowns But then that was where we first saw his a little electrical malfunction.
Yeah, he ended
And
up
as he
pushing his bike
started,
off.
yeah, like I didn't know what was going on. And then after like a minute, he just came out of like behind an airbag or something and was just pushing his bike back to the mechanics spot to get it checked out. So at that point, I guess he knew something was wrong with the bike. They looked at it because he was about to come back out for his run straight after Best Whip. So they didn't have much time. I guess technically they had 10 minutes tops to look over Harry's bike. They thought it was sweet, but turns out it wasn't.
Was not sweet.
Wasn't sweet. And then actually, Synchro Comp was sick. The Podmoles rode together, so Libor and Phillip side by side, and I would have said they should have been in the final. I don't think Luke and Brees did enough. They didn't choose big enough tricks, I thought. Like, they were better timed, but I was like, they were just weak tricks. So I guess the judges were going on timing, but I'm like, the tricks they chose just weren't good enough. But anyway, they got into the final, unfortunately for the Podmoles. But Team Spain, Pignol and Malero, everything was perfect. And then they finished the train with the front flip, which I thought was fucking crazy.
Yeah, so, but they did it. Yeah, they were right at one another, like 1-2. And then I still don't understand. Maybe you know. Does that ramp automatically set itself? Is there a spring there or something that resets?
There's no spring. That's just weight. So yeah, and that's what I was thinking, because when you watch it, I guess Malero went first, I think.
Yeah.
So he shot out and did his front flip. So that rocking mechanism goes up and then bounces back down and would probably bounce a little bit. And just as it settled,
he hit it.
What, for like a millisecond? Fucking Pignol comes through and does a front flip. Like,
well, that's what I was like. How?
No, there's no spring involved. It's just the weight of that bottom piece just brings it back down. But Malero would have been on the run up, watching the rocker bouncing in front of him, and he still went for it.
Yeah, he was still only like 2 bike lengths in between.
Yeah, maybe 3. It wasn't much though. 3. It was nothing. Like, I would have given that a good. Yeah. Like, I probably wouldn't even start up a run up. I'd be like, yeah, Malero's gone. Tonk, tonk, tonk. Yeah, good. I'll go now. Like,
because if you catch it weird, it's definitely not. You know what I mean?
It's not going to do it.
Yeah, it's going to be different.
Yeah, exactly. Like, fuck. I was blown away and a little bit scared that he didn't give himself more time.
I'm interested now that it's. So you ride over it and it pushes down. And so that thing only sits out for a millisecond and then it just falls back down?
Yeah, so the top of it, if I can try to show it, it's like that. So the top, your front wheel hits here, which gets the mechanism going. And at the back, your back wheel hits this bit that stops your back wheel, basically. So as soon as it does that and the rider's gone, it just it just falls back.
See, it must be longer.
Most of the weight's at the bottom.
Yeah, it must be longer than what I think. I feel
so there's more weight at the bottom.
But even though my point is, you basically want your back wheel needs to hit it as soon as your front wheel hits the actuator.
Basically.
Because otherwise it would just fall down by itself. In my head, that thing was only this long, the piece. But it's got to be it's a
bit long. It's, I guess it's like 2 foot, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe 3-ish.
That still should measure it one day. That still seems like you have to be going at speed. I mean, obviously, to jump the gap. But it only comes up for a split, second. So you have to be going fast enough where your wheel hits it while it's up.
That's it. I'm actually going to open the plans right now Let's see
Are you gonna
if
get
I
in
can
trouble
find it.
for this? Is this top secret
Nah,
stuff?
no. These are free to download on the Writers Lounge podcast. You can download the front flip thing and build it yourself.
Where do you go to? ridersloungepodcast.com?
Yep, that's the
Well, then
one.
I could find it.
I'm trying to find just the rocker. I don't. Surely it's there. Fuck, there's so many parts to it. Okay. So they actually, there's no measurements on that bit. The measurements are only on there, and I don't see the measurement for the actual rocker. They must be there.
Oh. Front flip ramp.
Okay. The rocker is 1.1 meters long.
Okay.
Actually, 1.104. So it's about
4 feet?
3.5 feet. Yeah, 3.5, nearly 4 feet.
That makes
That's
sense.
the rocker. Yeah. So there you go. If anybody wants to get the front flip ramp, download it from ridersloungepodcast.com. Thank you to Fly Group for allowing me to put that up there for free for all the riders in the world, so you all have the same one to jump. Because who wants to have 17 different fucking versions of a front flip ramp? It was already bad enough with 17 versions of a regular ramp.
Yeah, that's for sure. Here we go. I got it pulled up on the...
Oh, have you? Sweet.
Yeah. Yep, so we can look at it now. I didn't realize you had this. It's awesome. So... But you have 9... We're really off topic again. But you have... So the ramps you have... They curve all the way to the top?
Yeah. So the 8-meter radius is a constant radius. That's the Euro ramp. Curves from top to bottom. The 9-meter radius, otherwise known as an Aussie comp, all the way to the top. And I think, let me double check on that ramp there. The front flip is built off of.
It looks kind of mellow. It doesn't look like
I think
that much.
Yeah, I think that ramp is built off of the. I need to zoom in.
Oh, here's the actuator.
It's built off a 9-meter radius ramp. So that is a regular 9-meter radius ramp. It's just at the top where they modify it to put the front flip mechanism on it.
Oh,
so it's like a bit of a mellower ramp. So you try and get a nicer arc. You don't go to the moon.
Right.
Yeah. And then we've got the super kicker. Yeah, I mean, this technically, actually, our double flip super kicker has a constant radius, but the better one on super kickers is actually the American version, where it's got that 1 foot or 2 foot of flat coming out the top.
It's probably a teeny bit more than that.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
American ramps have about 3 or 4 feet of flat at the top, typically.
Yeah.
On all of them. Which just makes it where you have to lean forward more to get your bike to level out a little bit.
Yeah, so exactly.
I'm not really a fan of the constant radiuses because I feel like I'm going to endo. You have to be pinned all the way through the top of the ramp on like a constant radius.
That's it. So if I look at the top, okay, yep. So the good super kicker has 600 mils of flat at the end. So 600 mils would be 2 foot.
That's it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I don't know super kickers. I've never I've ridden like one or two.
So that's the good one. So there you go. Those plans are also on the Riders Lounge podcast. .com. Go check it out.
In case you want a super kicker or a front flip ramp.
Or an 8 or a 9, and I need to put...
And Levi's Next Gen, do you got that one?
That one's up there too. They're up there. Actually, I've got a couple more I need to put up.
Really?
The quarter pipe and the quarter pipe with the rocker, you know, the one that Tom Pages and Jay Rouenet do like their front flare on. I've got those plans that I'm able to put up online as well. So,
Oh,
few things
this
coming.
is all in metric. I can't
Sorry about that.
tell what the hell's going on here.
So for most people in the world, they will be able to read these plans. If you're in America, in the US of A,
I'm gonna translate.
you're gonna have to get a fucking calculator.
I'm gonna translate them and do them in American on my site. All right, you'll be able to get American versions of these on my site one day.
So, what was I saying about why do we change names of cities in English and then the Americans? I mean, actually, technically, Imperial is Imperial. It came first.
Well, but we call it
metric
American
was just
standard.
Yeah, of course you do. Yeah, because you guys have different pounds and different tons to the English, which is also dumb,
dude.
Like,
it explains a lot about Harley Davidsons, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Like, there's nothing threaded on a Harley. You have to have a wrench and a ratchet, like on everything.
Yep.
Because they're just like, because we're Harley, screw off. We're gonna do it.
Yeah.
Same technology for the last 200 years.
That's it. We're going to do it for another 500.
That's right.
Just watch us.
Dude, so I had somebody from Australia come here, and I said something about American Standard, and he goes, it's whatever Imperial. He's like,
it's Imperial.
He's like, you people. And I'm like, listen, don't yell at me. This is what I was told. I have no idea. You know what I mean?
Oh, then he's just, making a correct statement about your education system. Oh, no, I just went there.
Yeah, listen, I realize it now. I'm just like, that's why I said earlier. I pointed it out earlier, so don't try to give me shit. Because I was like, we don't care about your country unless we're coming to overthrow your government. Remember?
That's it. Hey, but I think, wasn't it Jimmy Carter that tried to bring the metric system in? Like, I think there was a very, very small time when you may have started on metric and then it didn't end up taking. Because I think he was only a one-term president, and I think the metric system basically went out with him.
Because Big Imperial just kept it in. They were like, this is what we're doing, boys.
Big tobacco, big Imperial, big guns, the whole lot.
No, it's big fractions. They were like, you're not getting rid of fractions, bro. What are you going to do? Switch to millimeters? Nah.
We need our 15/16. Come on. Fucking hell.
I'm still learning American or whatever, imperial sizes. I'm like, what the fuck is next? Which one's next? I don't know.
Well, I gotta get my 3-inch 15/16.
Yeah.
Fucking, fuck. Yeah, you could just say 27 mil or whatever it is. It's just super easy, man. Super easy. I'm going to find that out, actually. I'm pretty sure you had metric over there at some point.
All right, that's a good conspiracy theory to look into.
It's not even a conspiracy theory.
Well, as to why we didn't keep it.
That would be.
Who was so hard up to be like, nah, I like confusing the fuck out of everyone.
Yeah, it's a really good idea. Let's keep it.
If you go to metric system, your weight is lower and your dick is longer. No brainer.
Fair call. Fair call. Let me just check here. I think I've found something. Jimmy Carter. All right, so America began testing road signs in kilometers under President Jimmy Carter, who supported efforts to go metric. Interstate 19, which connects Tucson, Arizona to Mexico, was one of them, and today remains the only highway in America with distances posted solely in kilometers.
What highway is this? 19?
Interstate 19.
Between where? I'm trying to think if I've ever been on it.
Between Tucson, Arizona, and Mexico.
No.
So by the late 1970s, even the automakers had begun building speedometers that showed both miles and kilometers. Somehow setting a cruising speed of 88 seemed so much cooler than 55.
Yeah.
but I don't know why. Okay, so here we go. Republican Charles Grassley, then a congressman and now a senator for Iowa, killed the proposed federal regulations that would have forced states to put up signs in kilometers. Basically, this is a direct quote from Grassley. Forcing the American people to convert to the metric system goes against our democratic principles. How is that a democratic principle, for fuck's sake? Anyway, that was it. It was killed off by Grassley. That's why you're still in American Standard. How's that for a little bit more history for today? I bet you didn't think you were getting that today.
I didn't know that.
There you go.
So,
and I knew half of it. I didn't know all of the story, but I knew half of it. It is good to get an education sometimes.
Sometimes it's good. So all right, so let's go over the actual. We'll finish with who actually won. Individually, you said Luke won.
Yep, Luke killed it. Actually, he did kill it, but he only beat Malero by 1 point. It was pretty damn close. So Luke first, Malero second, and Philip in third.
That's what I was going to guess.
Yeah. Actually, I wonder if I've got the full results here. No, I don't actually have the individual results of that particular competition, but I've got it from overall. After 3 contests, Luke is still in the lead, Malero in second, Philip in third, Ronaldo in fourth after missing 1 round. Matej Cezak is in fifth overall. Mark Pignol with the crash that he had in Berlin, he's sitting in sixth. Peter Pilat in seventh. Kai Hazer and Danny Torres in eighth. Brice Izzo in 10th. Libor Podmol in 11th. And Harry Bink with his fucking huge crash is sitting in 12th after he only had 1 round. But
I was going to say,
maybe we'll have Harry back.
You give points out per round?
Yeah, so everybody gets points per round, and then that was the after 3 rounds where they're sitting on the series overall. But like I said, looks like we'll probably have Harry back. I've got all of his suspension and half of a motorbike in the back of my van now in pieces. So I hope he sends over a couple of Albeck or Allbeck bags that I can stuff all of these things into. He doesn't have OGO bags. He's got the new Allbeck ones. Oh. Have you seen them?
I was thinking that's just how you guys said it in German.
I don't even know how to pronounce it. Like I would have said Allbeck if I was in Australia, but
I thought that was OGO in German.
OGO Albeck. What? Yeah, no. So he's not on the OGO program because they're so freaking heavy. When you're paying $50 per kilogram, but it is 50 American dollars per kilogram.
See?
For excess baggage, so an OGO bag is about 3 kilograms heavier than almost any other bag on the market. So that would be $150 extra just for the luxury of having an OGO one way. So if you're going to fly somewhere and fly home, you're paying $300 if you keep your OGO. I'm not shitting all over OGO right now. I'm just
pointing out a fact. Well, don't worry. They're going to come out with the new carbon fiber OGO that costs $1,200.
So if you save $300 on 4 flights, you got yourself brand new OGO carbon fiber. There we go. That's a good idea. You know what I did? I went even better. I went with the OGO golf bag.
Yeah, Javier had a golf bag case.
Yeah.
That he would put his suspension and stuff in. And then I used to have a gun case, which is just asking to be pulled into every security room.
Exactly. Well, that's how Harry turned up. He had one Allbeck with like the big stuff, and then he had the gun case just for the suspension because it's tight enough and thin enough to go in. So yeah, he said the same things. Like he was dragging his gun case through the airport. Everyone's just watching him. Like, yeah, that's what's gonna happen, man.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I've done it.
I went with Yeah,
They go,
I went with
what do you have in there? You know, like, and I'm like, a rocket. You know, like, to just like random people. I'm like, it's a rocket.
Fuck, and they let him through.
Yeah,
Whoa.
exactly.
No, I ran the OGO Golf, the Flexi one. It was like 1.5 kilos compared to 7 if I had my OGO. So
Huh.
I was saving $300 per trip. So $600 overall.
We don't get charged like that here.
I know it's only Australia to Europe or New Zealand. Australia and New Zealand to Europe. That's where I get screwed.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're like, you pay for like a
One
second bag, yeah, and it's like,
and it's fuck all.
yeah, exactly.
$100 maybe,
Yeah,
maybe. Yeah, no, we're on the rough end of the pineapple, where we
you
get
can't
the
do
$50
anything
per
because you're
kilo.
flying everywhere to get off
That's
of that
it.
rock.
That's it. That's the problem. We got to just bend over and take that rough end of the pineapple, and that's what happens. So, yeah. Anyway, so no, team overall, I was going to say Team Spain won. So we've got 3 different countries have won so far this year.
That's
Czech
awesome.
on the first night, Germany the second, Spain the third. Fuck, you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
By the time we get to Mannheim and Zurich and whatever else.
Do you know your lineup for the next one?
It's not finalized. It's not finalized, but we were very much looking at having Italy in with Leo Fini, Davide Rossi, maybe Matteo Bottillon, or maybe Massimo Bianconcini. Not sure what happens there. Keep your eyes peeled. It is not confirmed just yet. I would love to have, actually, even if we could get America over with Adam Jones, Colby, whatever his name is, 32 to 1. What's his name? I forgot.
I know him too.
Anyway, so no, we're looking at.
I don't think it's Colby. Is it Colby? I don't think it's Colby.
Yeah. His Instagram name's Colby 32 to 1.
Oh.
Don't know what his last name
Cody.
is. But anyway.
It doesn't even come up.
Let's see.
I'm trying to find it. 32. There you go. Oh, yeah. And all it says is Colby. It doesn't say his last name. I can't remember his last name.
Colby, no name.
Dude, I told you, I rode with him when he was young. He was like probably 17 or something. Over the last 2 years, year especially, he's just...
You seen his cliffy flips and shit? Like, he's throwing down. He's
That's
not
what I mean.
scared.
He was like good and he was flipping, and then over the last year, he's just been like cliffhanger flips, heart flips, and then going to dirt, and then big flip tricks over the dirt, and
have you seen that new place that he's been riding at heaps? Like, looks like 110, 120 foot dirt here. Looks sick.
Ripping cliffhanger flips and everything else off
with fuck all down ramp.
Gort.
Is it?
Colby Gort.
There you go. That dude, keep your eye out for him. I think he's, definitely one of those new kids that fucking could take over.
So he's from like Arizona, I want to say. And there was a clothing company out there, 32 to 1, or Nevada. Maybe it's Nevada.
Is that where the 32 to 1 gear brand was?
That's where that comes from. I think he was sponsored by, that might have been like his first sponsor or something like that. So I think that's where that comes from on his name.
I remember Jake Bowen was the first rider in Australia to be sponsored by 32 to 1, like way back in the day.
Yeah.
I was like, but it was pretty hard to find that gear. I never could get it, but I always wanted it.
Well, there was a couple of guys. The only reason I know that is because a couple of guys, this other guy, I am Cheatham or whatever. Same thing. All those dudes, those young kids from that area, all ran that 32 to 1 stuff.
Yeah. No, it was sick. It was good stuff. But
I've been thinking. I just realized this after we just had this conversation. But he is the best up and coming American FMX rider.
Yep.
100%.
Easily. Yep.
Easily.
Fucking
Nobody else is doing
dude.
tricks like that. You know, like everybody else is. Who are the other big Americans? Hodges and
Adam Jones.
And well, I mean new word.
New guys. Yeah, new
Bierman,
guys.
kind of
Bierman.
new. Colby.
Yeah.
Who's the other?
Banks Hovey, maybe, if you wanted to throw him into that list.
Yep. No,
I would say, there's not really many that are like
really pushing the trick envelope.
Mm-hmm. That's it. Free ride's definitely being pushed. That's
right.
Getting pushed from every which way, which is sick.
No, I agree with that, but I just mean
FMX.
I have just thought straight FMX recently. We really don't have anybody. America
Colby
doesn't exactly.
Colby Gort. There you go. Number 1.
McNarls. He's
that dude's been around for so long.
That's true.
But he's still fucking.
But he's pushing in again. He's not pushing in the way Colby is in learning every new trick. He's pushing bigger flips, gnarlier stuff that way, but not necessarily at the technical end of freestyle where it's
that's it.
X Games or X Fighter's not around, I guess, at the moment, but X Games winning or Nitro winning run. You know, nobody else has a chance at a full run. Anybody new, at least. You know,
that's it. No, exactly. I'd say. Actually, I saw McNall's flipping. Was it the No Neighbors area? I don't know what the name of that place is. I forgot.
Yeah, they don't know. I'm not allowed to talk about it. They'll come after me.
Well, anyway, McNall's was sick. McNall's was sick there, so that was cool.
Yeah, that whole area, dude, is so sick. Old Vinny Carbone out there. All those guys, there's a couple of dudes there that just shovel all the time and build all that stuff. And they have, the best play. The only other place that rivals it that I've been to is, as far as built stuff, I guess Caneville's its own thing, but that's out in the middle of nowhere. Is Bakersfield.
Oh, yeah.
Derek Beckering and Scranny and Jeff Griffin and and Alves, Garrett Al.
Oh yeah, Garrett Alves.
Yeah.
Man, there's a few names I haven't heard of in a very long time.
Those dudes. So that's who I rode with when I went out there. Garrett didn't ride with us, but everybody else did.
Yeah.
And Chuck lived there at the time, so I went out with Chuck, and it was I just followed Chuck. I know how Chuck is. I knew how he was by this point, and I know that he's just gonna bomb everything that he can point at.
Yeah.
So I just stayed close enough to him, had his speed, and far enough to be able to gauge exactly what was going on jump wise. And by the end of that day, I was just worn out because
mental overload, man.
Dude, he just fried me because we literally probably jumped 30 jumps, not even shitting you, and half of them were just little rhythm sections and stuff, and I'm just following, just trying to jump all this stuff.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, man. It would be so gnarly to do it like that.
That's how Chuck is. Be warned, if you go to ride with Chuck, which he doesn't, I haven't seen him ride in a while since his last injury, but bro, it's he's gonna, if he can get pointed at it, he's gonna hit it.
That's so gnarly. Fuck. I wouldn't be able to do it. That was when we did Red Bull Dirt Diggers. That's what Squibby told me. He's there's actually too much shit here. He's I've got a headache because I have to remember 30 or 40 different distances and which way to turn, this way or that way, and whatever's going to go wrong. So yeah, I remember that.
And it's
so
very
sometimes
easy.
it's better.
Yeah, it's very easy to forget which jump you're on or something, and especially if they're just kinked a little bit this way and that way, and you hit it straight, or
that's it. Like imagination, how many jumps would have been in imagination? Probably 25, 30 ish.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to get onto fucking Tyler's jump and forget which one you're on. You're like, oh yeah, I'll just pop over this. Oh no.
Oh no, I'm about 100 feet short.
Yeah. two gears down from where I should be and 100 feet short. Yeah, exactly. Awesome, man. I think we've wrapped it all up, haven't we?
Yeah, we covered it all and extra. You got
and
bonus
extra,
in
like,
this podcast, people.
Like always.
All right, buddy.
Awesome. Too easy, man. Well, I guess we'll see you. If we're going to talk about Night of the Jumps, the next one will be May the 20th. There are still tickets if anybody's in Europe and they want to get some. So Munich was sold out from a while, so I didn't even have to talk about tickets, which was cool. Mannheim's still got a few tickets left, but I'll be seeing you, I guess, on the live stream from there on May the 20th. I can't wait. 7 weeks. Can't wait to see what happens there. But in between, what have we got? What else is coming up? Is there any other comps?
I don't know. Is there?
I guess there's an MOD show in 2 weeks in Salzburg. I think Freestyle Kings are running around Australia at the moment.
There's no contest. I don't think. Other than
there's Japan's coming up soon. There'll be X Games Japan. Oh, that might be May the 13th. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure there's an X Games Japan soon-ish.
Let's look it up.
X Games Japan 2023. Let's see what Mr. Google tells me.
I keep having 2022 come up.
There you go. May 12 to 14 in Zozo Marine Stadium in Chiba City. There you go.
Extreme Sports Championship, it says.
Yeah, it does. Extreme Sports Championship. But I wonder what, while we're looking at it now that we're actually talking about it, what's in? Because I remember last time it was only like a best whip comp and maybe best trick with one ramp. Maybe two. No, it doesn't say. So I'm not sure when the big X Games is on.
It's usually July or August.
Yeah,
I think it's
July
been
or
July.
August.
It used to be August, and now I feel like they bumped it up to July.
Yeah, exactly. So there you go. Next big one will be 1 week before Night of the Jumps. X Games, May 3rd. 12 to 14, and then we'll be 1 week later.
Are there any watching apparati here?
Probably that stupid ESPN player that barely worked for me on X Games last year.
Okay, well, we'll try to figure that out. Maybe we can do a companion or something with it.
That's it.
Well, at least
we're going to have to do another companion soon as well. There was that video that John sent through of the Vans Triple Crown.
2000 or something, or 99 or something.
Yeah, we should do that pretty soon too. That looks sick.
Yeah. So, once I'm just away until Monday, so not a big deal. So
I'll be away for 10 days. So when I get back, we can do it.
There you go. So 10 days, people, and then we'll figure out who the riders list is for X Games. We'll go over that, and we'll go over some other things, and we'll have a new companion for you guys. How about that?
Sounds good.
All right, everybody. Thanks for watching.